Hi everybody.
Hi everybody.
Miss Tiffany here with my special helper Wyatt for another video, and today we are making our snack for this morning. Do you know what it is?
Fruit bars.
What kind of fruit?
I don't remember.
Raspberry bars.
Raspberry.
These raspberry bars are not that fancy. They were purchased from the grocery store. But in case you wanted to watch along, and then maybe you could make your snack one morning too. All right, so there's some steps here. We're gonna read the steps on the box to make sure we do it the right way.
One step.
Number one, it says heat the oven to 350. Did we turn the oven on? We
It's
did.
on right now.
We did.
Number two.
Number two says we have to stir some melted butter, which is in this. I've already melted it, with our mix, which is this. Okay? So I'm going to pour this in. Okay. Put the whole bag in. And then we're going to put all of the butter in. Yum. And then Wyatt, you're going to use a fork to start stirring it. All right, and while you do that, I'm going to grease our pan, okay? So you keep stirring. Let everyone know.
Number 4.
Well, that was actually part of number 1, but I need to get the butter for the pan, okay? Let everyone know how it's going while you mix, okay? Let them know what you're doing.
I'm mixing it
You see
now.
happening, okay?
And now it's trying to get a little stickier.
It
It's
will-
trying to get a little flaking sticky onto there.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting thick.
Thick now.
You gotta use your muscles.
And I can use my muscles to the bottom.
Yeah. I'm just gonna spread a little butter
Now I'm
in
gonna-
around.
Like push
Oh,
it.
you're scraping down the edges. That's an important part of baking. Wyatt likes to help me bake, right? What else do we make sometimes together?
Cookies.
Cookies.
What?
We made brownies.
Yeah. And we make. We
Keep
make.
mixing it.
I just remembered what the one that Harris did. Pancakes.
We make pancakes together sometimes. Yep.
Well, I
All right.
need this to get off.
So now our pan is all greasy.
Can I use one of these to get?
Yeah, you can use the other fork, and then I'll help you give it a mix. It's gonna be very thick. Oof. It almost looks like oatmeal.
I think that's the crushed.
The crust. Yep. You're right. You got it.
That's what has to
Let's get all
go.
the dry parts mixed in with the buttery parts. So it's it actually kind of smells like oatmeal. Give it a smell.
And it talks like oatmeal.
It talks like oatmeal.
Oatmeal talks.
How does it talk?
It makes noises like that.
Oh yeah, it sounds like oatmeal. You mean, right? Squishy oatmeal-y sounds. All right, I think we're pretty good. So now let's read the next step. We started together. So now we have to get 2/3 of the crust in the pan. So what we're gonna do, Wyatt, is we're gonna pretend in our mind what it would be like to cut this batter, into 3 sections. All right? And it's gonna be 3 different parts. So we're gonna take this one part and put it in there. You can use your hands. Wyatt just washed, so he's ready to go. Press down these pieces I'm putting in here, bud. Press them down flat. That's gonna be the crust at the bottom. All right? Try to cover the whole pan. It might be kind of thin, but that's okay. We're using a square pan if you're wanting to do something similar at home. There we go. Yeah, really push with your hands. All of that. And we'll show you our pan when we're done pushing it down so you can see what it looks like. All right? It kind of looks like squished down oatmeal, huh? All right, you ready to show them? All right, there we go. That's our bottom crust. So now let's read. We have to bake this.
What does that mean?
What is
Put it in
bake?
the oven.
You need to put in the oven. So we're gonna put in the oven, and we will be back afterwards for the next step. Okay? All right, see you in a little bit. Hi everyone, I'm back. Wyatt now is in his morning meeting for kindergarten on Zoom. So I'm gonna do the next step with you myself. And then at the very end, when you see the finished product, Wyatt will be back. So I'm being very careful right now because the next step, the pan is hot. So I just took this out of the oven. So definitely have a parent or someone in your family help you, an older person in your family help you. So I'm keeping the towel there as my reminder that the pan is hot because I don't want to touch it. But the next step on my box says spread the raspberry filling, which is this, over the hot crust. So I'm gonna start pouring it out over the crust like this. Again, you have to be really careful at this step so that you don't touch the pan. I just pulled it out of the oven. Once all of the raspberry tasty, almost looks like jam, gets out, then I can use a spreading tool that you probably have in your kitchen. And that spreading tool is called a spatula. So I'm gonna use my handy dandy spatula. I'm gonna hold the towel over the pan because like I said, it's very hot, and show you a little bit of how I'm spreading it so that there's not gonna be any dry parts without raspberry, right? You want every bite of your raspberry bar to have some tasty raspberries in it. Chef Karen at our school would make the yummiest raspberry bars for our kids to have at snack. So when I saw this at the grocery store, I said, I'm kind of craving some of those raspberry bars. So it's not the same, but it'll still be yummy, I'm sure. All right, so look, I've spread it out, but all of it's covered in my little pan here. Hot pan. And then the last step we're gonna do is sprinkle the rest of the filling. So Wyatt helped me mix this, and I'm gonna do the last bit, which is take the forks out, and we're gonna crumble and sprinkle it on top. So it doesn't have to get spread, but the crumble, this is kind of a fun step. Again, hot pan, so we're not gonna touch it, but we're gonna kind of like little snowflakes sprinkle our crumbly crumbles all over the top. You want to try to get little bits of crumble in each kind of area. If a lot falls in one space, maybe a grown-up or older person could help you move it, because you don't want to get your hands close to the pan, really. Even adults and grown-ups sometimes burn themselves accidentally, and it's not fun. All right, a little bit left to crumble. We're almost there. I'll show you what it looks like before I put it back in the oven again. It's got to bake 2 times. Extra fancy. Get the rest of our crumbles. All the little scraps out the bottom. Yum. It smells good already. All right, put my forks in. And then I'm going to lift it up again to show you. Can't lift it too much, it's going to slide. But we put our raspberry filling and we put our crumbly crumbles on top, and it's going to go back in the oven. So when it's done, Wyatt and I will be back to show you what it looks like in the end. See you in a bit. Hello again, we're back. Wyatt's finished with his morning meeting. We have let the raspberry bars cool for a little while, and we wanted to show them for you. So the pan is still a little warm, but I can touch it. It's not too hot to touch. Watch your head, Wyatt. I'm gonna flip this up so you can see all of the batter in the dough. Now it's a little darker brown. Take a look, Wyatt. Do you see how it's changed? And the raspberry jam is really kind of solid, more solid than it was when I spread it out before. So it says to let it cool before you eat it, but I think we might try to sneak a little taste. What do you think? It's not too hot. We're gonna get a little corner piece so we can let you know how it comes out. Maybe this here, and then over here. All right, let's see. Pull it out. Ooh. So we have our crust on the bottom. Remember the crust we pressed down on the bottom? And then it's turned dark and it's now cooked through. And then we have our raspberry jam. And we have the crumble on top. Should I test it first to see if it's too hot? Let me give it a little test.
good.
It's warm. It's good. I think you can try a bite. Just a little bite. Bite it in.
Hot.
What do you think, though? Does it
Too
taste
hot.
too hot? Does it taste good?
Not too hot.
But it's a little, Wyatt's a little sensitive with hot things. But should we let it cool off and you'll try later? But thumbs up or thumbs down on the flavor?
Good.
Good. All right.
It's
Well-
like the same hot for me to use. It's I can eat it, but it's a little too hot for me.
All right. Well, thanks.
This one.
Thanks for helping. We will eat this in a minute once it gets a little cooler, and we'll see you next time.
No, it's just like this teeny weeny.
All right. We'll say bye.
Bye.
Bye.